And Improved Theater, Section 5. There you are! Will you be able to get the wine stain out? I think so, but I couldn't give less of a shit about that right now. How's Gabrielle doing? Still asleep. She is still alive, so she's hanging on by a thread, and there is no telling what could happen next. I expect it's going to be some time before she can tell us what happened. So we got no choice but to be patient until we can find out who did this, huh? I am not sure even Gabrielle won't be regaining consciousness now. I doubt even she could tell who she poisoned her glass. Where did that come from? Someone trying to play the detective or something? As a matter of fact, I don't play anything. My traveling musician act was actually a facade. Actually a facade. His true identity is Isidoro Pogololi, the great detective. And as his assistant detective, Adriana Monodori. Would you mind not stepping on the lines, Algeria? Oh, I'm sorry. Great Detective Isidoro Pogololi, huh? Never heard of you. Of course not. Most of my cases come directly from high-ranking government officials, so I can't imagine the common man would know my name. So you're in a line of work that requires no self-promotion, are you? Wouldn't that be nice, at least? I don't even know if I buy it. Maybe the higher-ups just use it to bury the fact that they don't like. Those who know me sometimes call me the closer. I can understand your trepidation, but I hope you will trust us. A detective, huh? Usually my experience having a detective around is nothing but bad news, but I guess it's a good thing that you hear in this case. Then, I suppose your client this time will be the old man himself? Right? Right you are. Our first president, Miguel Angeles Cortez, hired me to be here. He said he wanted me to investigate if anything happens after he was gone. I was hoping there would be no need for my services, but alas, it seems luck would not have our side. Sometimes I curse the way curses seems to follow wherever I go. It's always kind of scared me how though the old man was about this sort of thing. It's almost like he knew exactly what happened after he was gone. Mr. Pogololi has an amazing talent for attracting cases whenever he goes. He's known as the Isidoro the Reaper. Obviously proud, of course. Yeah, well, that's not ominous at all. One bit. You there, Salazar, or whatever your name was. Are you sure Miguel never told you anything about this? That one word? Maybe Lord Miguel never actually trusted me after all. Cheers up, Salazar. It is much too early to say that. Thank you, my lady. Your kind words are certainly smoothing to hear under the circumstances. You're welcome. Anyway, getting back to the question at hand, why would anyone want to harm Gabriella? Seriously? You actually have to ask? Huh? Cortez legacy? Are you an idiot? He collected some really amazing shit back when he was a general. It apparently would be easy to keep in power even if he had to retire. At least that is the rumor I overheard at the diner with some high-ranking government officials. So if Gario inherited something that great, it's no wonder someone else will want her out of the picture, right? But that's still only a rumor, right? What? You don't believe me? Courage's legacy is no rumor. Trust me, I used to work under him. I was a medical officer, so I had access to a lot of different places. As a result, I was made to gather evidence of wrongdoing on all sorts of people. And of course, the evidence I gathered was only a tiny fraction of the whole. All told, I bet there were dozens of government officials who had cold collars slapped on them like that. And it's not just scabby blackmail material either. I bet anything the legacy also includes priceless letters and works of art from the former kingdom. And I also bet that it's all here, somewhere in this enormous mansion. ... Damn, that's quite a story if anyone had managed to make this legacy for themselves. They'd be Nadia's next ruler, huh? So that's why Gabi was poisoned. Still, even if the culprit did succeed at eliminating her, that doesn't mean they would automatically inherit this legacy, right? Well, it makes sense. It's like there has to be some legal actions. Like whenever someone dies, they always have a will, and during that will reading, it will detect who gets what. So I don't think they'll automatically inherit everything that quickly. They might not have to. Some people say high-ranking government officials would be happy just to have it conveniently disappear. I guess their next move will either be try and kill Gabrielle again, or to just kill all of us. But if they merely wanted to bury this legacy, it would be much more expedient to just set it all ablaze. Especially after we all went to bed. Of course, I doubt that'll work now that they got all of us on guard. Even if they don't plan on doing anything too drastic just yet. Yeah, well, that's not going to be a big help if their next move is going to poison all our food. No, considering how Gario just collapsed right after she drank that wine that guy brought her. Stop it, Elise! No, it's alright. Lady has every reason to be suspicious. Very well, how about this? After I prepare your meals, I will taste them before serving to make sure they are safe. So you want to be our food taster? There are any number of ways you could fake it, that if you wanted to. Sorry about that, Vargas. He's suspicious about pretty much everything. Though of course, that'll help us a lot when we're out on hunts. Anyway, if you don't mind, we appreciate it if you could just share some non-perishable with us. Perishables? Of course! If you cannot, we'll simply go out and hunt our own food. Could a non-perishable be poison as well? I can check for poison too. All I gotta do is brush it against my lips or my tips of my tongue. Smell can tell you a lot about something too. Actually, something already smells fishy. There's no way the scent could be natural. It's coming from over there. Or over here. Hey, Garcia! We should follow them. Okay. There! Oh, it's Jane Morton and Gabrielle. This portrait smells like wet paint. I see your nose is as sharp as your tongue, Garcia. I can smell it too. Now that I am this close. How long has this portrait been here, Salazar? I believe it was completed when Laura Miguel was still with us. But if it's still with us, then the paint wouldn't be dry by now, would it? Does anything seem different about it to you? I'm afraid I cannot tell what might have been changed. I'm sorry. I didn't study it closer when I had the chance. A true artist put their heart and soul into the smallest detail of their work, including those most people will never see or appreciate. It's perfectly understandable that you wouldn't be able to notice them at a glance. The important thing to take away from this is that someone altered this painting extremely recently. Though I suppose it is possible the artist simply decided they didn't like some part of it, how it came out, and decided to fix it. They certainly would be the first to go back and alter their past work. Damn! It's all connected! Paintings like Critium, Yellow, and Vermilion contains harmful heavy metal. And while I can't be certain, Garria's symptoms definitely strikes me as similar to heavy metal poison. I doubt the painting was added directly to her drink, but the culprit could have extracted the heavy metal from it. So you're saying that whoever altered the painting would have access to the paint, and that they use it to create the poison. Basically, it's a bit of a stretch, but the logical does hold. Very well, just to be certain, let me ask you all this. Do any of you currently have any paintings or paint? It looks like nobody is volunteering to come forward, Mr. Borgolini. Does that mean... Yes, it's definitely one of those cases. Oh, quit the damn theoretics and just spill it out. Very well then, if I may be so bold. One of you is the cowardly culprit behind this Meihousou mystery, the portrait painter. And he finally opened his eyes. When typical characters have their eyes closed, when they open their eyes, that means something is going to go down. Cinema Builders. Section 6, Cinema Builders. Great job, everyone! That was amazing, especially considering that none of you have ever acted before. Especially you, Tristan. That last line of yours had my heart absolutely pounding. Ha! Any knight of the round table could have done the same. Let's just say that performances of that nature are nothing unusual for us. Don't flatter him, Mosh. Little stummer boy here was just spouting the first thing that popped into his bird brain of his. The hell were you thinking, saying one of us is the culprit? Now what are we gonna do if the new characters show up? Alas, she speaks the truth, which makes me sad. I did indeed merely shout the first thing that came to my mind. That was so unhelpful, it almost circled back of being used helpful. Yes, by all means, continue to praise me. Come on, praise me more! That wasn't praise, dumbass! At least we managed to tie everything together. Sorry about that. I just sort of followed my gut without realizing where it was taking me. Not at all. It has given us a clear path to the story's conclusion. All we need to do now is find this portrait painter and beat them to justice, or bring them to justice. I'm afraid there is still something lacking. We need to turn up the heat, so to speak. What do you mean? If you're asking for something to turn on the heat, you can ask Jolter. She literally burns people to death with her stake of deaths. The mystery has indeed been unraveled, and I agree that this story plot now has a clear direction. But the audience still doesn't know who their character truly are. Well, your characters truly are. Did Lady Murasaki not go over their background with you? I don't think she actually did. Seriously? I heard of playing it close to the chest, but this is just ridiculous. It's a shame she didn't make a chart or some such with all your character histories. You don't have the audience surrogate either, and there haven't been any monologues reinforming any of the characters' inner motivations. If you keep this up, you may as well be a bunch of marionettes going whichever way the current scene strings pulls you. You don't mince words, do you? Nope, he doesn't. Which is why, for the next scene, we'd like you to invent some reason for your characters to go off on their own. Oh, I know, maybe something like, I am not going to stand around here waiting for the killer to stab me in the back. I'm going back to my room. Kind of like what you did the last murder case. Would that work? Would it? We have a scene like that. That would certainly be one natural reaction, but regrettably, it would also leave little room for further developments. An extreme fear cannot neither fight nor fly, but cowards like would tremble, terror, die. From what I have seen of your performance thus far, none of you are playing the characters sufficiently cowardly to take that route. For example, what do you think your character would do next, Sir Larry? Who cares? Ugh, what's going on? What am I doing here? Mozart! Side glance. Dot dot dot. Right, I don't think I have a very firm grasp on Tonio's character, but thanks, Marie. I think if I were innocent, I would try to follow the culprit's plot in order to further my own goals. And if I were the culprit, I would only pretend to cooperate with everyone else while I plotted my next move. Especially since I still have to accomplish my goal of murdering Gabriella. Either way, simply hiding in my room would not be an option. What a coincidence, Uncle. I was just thinking the same thing. Please don't ever call me that again when we're out filming. I beg to differ. On the stage or in our sets, in this case, there's nothing wrong with staying in the headspace of one's character. Now I see, even if you don't know the culprit is, the most natural thing to do here would be try and suss one other out, without arousing suspicion. Exactly! That sort of push and pull is what gives a good assembled story its chemistry. This is what people usually mean when they say good characters write themselves. Though of course, if you don't write yourselves here, there will be no story at all, really. Unfortunately, given my amnesia, I don't know if I'm capable of coming up with something clever to say. What if the topic were... What if the topics were Lady Bosch? Oh yes, I will gouge out her eyes and her hair for days on end, and still not run out of things to say. Goddamn Salazar. I need to be very wary of you, especially when it comes to Mosh. Eyes, hair. That sounds familiar. Yeah. I feel like I heard some really stupid conversation about that once. I don't know. That sounds like some stalker person that was going after John. I wonder who that could be. At any rate, I encourage you all to continue in getting your characters' heads. In your characters' heads. For that is the only way we have left with us to which we can properly repair this singularity. ... There is one thing I still do not understand. Why you and I pretend to be lowly hunters? Good question. If you're the kingdom's former prince, and I'm your attendant, what if we were because we're both wanted criminals, with bounties on our heads? That's why we have to hunt just to survive while we're on the run. Me? A fugitive? What an amusing idea. You might be getting a little too royal. Okay then, what if he's a former prince, and you were secretly going around trying to make your country a better place? They say land outlasts kingdoms, right? Your old nation may have been gone, but its people are still living their lives. You could be here trying to ensure their welfare, and I could be your partner. What do you think of that? I hope I didn't offend. Not bad. Hahaha. Traveling my land to make it a better place is much more amusing idea than being a fugitive. Farewell then. Let us film recompense. Come, Garcia. You got it. Damn, another dead end. I was hoping she'd at least have left a note or two lying around. Then again, that was probably too much to hope for, seeing as she didn't even have time to write a script. Apparently, she barely had 3 hours to put something together after Roman asked her to help. Even for a rush production, that's just absurd. I thought I might find you here. Sherlock Holmes, why did I owe the pleasure? You sure work hard for a guy who didn't so much set foot in London Singularity. Oh, this is just really quite elementary to me, Mr. Anderson. Knowing how much you respect Miss Murasaki's wishes, it was hardly a leap to imagine you would try to find a clue as to what they might actually have been. Well, you're right, Mr. Detective. Unfortunately, I have no luck with that so far. Maybe it doesn't matter anymore, now that the actors have taken things into their own hands. But I still wanted to at least find a hint as to the ending she had in mind. I see. In other words, you don't want to see Miss Murasaki's first movie go down in flames, as it were. When you're trying to secure more resources for Chaldea here, remember, this isn't all fun and games. Yes, of course, but I suspect you still have a hypothesis you have yet to lodge, Mr. Anderson. Earlier suggests that this story might as well conclude in a train wreck of some sorts. This sounds to me as though you already have an idea on where it's going. ... If you don't mind sharing, I would like to ask you for your opinion as a writer. regarding what sort of story you think Miyazaki was trying to tell. Damn, I guess I did say that, didn't I? What I mean was, with a cast like that, someone's bound to end up dead by the end. Though, whether that will be a comical or tragic death is still some up in the air. Alright, if you want to know what I'm thinking, I'll tell you. Just keep it to this strictly my personal opinion. Alright. Writers always juggling about 10 or 20 ideas in their minds. Even if they don't always get around to write all or even most of them. Well, 10 or 20 might be giving some writers too much credit, but in Murasaki's case, I'm pretty sure she had more than fair share. I see. And you think she used one of these ideas for her movie scripts? Given how urgent and unprotected the request was, it would only make sense that she would use an idea that she had already been kicking around. But there was also some sort of constraints, a limited pool of actors, and her lack of experience with writing screenplay, and very little time to film. I suggest half of her premise is something she already had floating around her mind, and the other half is stuff she had to come up with to make it work. Though I don't get the impression that she used up all her energy on the setting and cast. At any rate, I think she knew how she wanted this story to end, but she didn't have yet figured out how to get there. It sounds like you already have a solid grasp on what she has in mind. I have my theories, but they are just speculation. That's why I was hoping I could at least find some sort of hint. Then I suggest we try a different approach. Oh? Does that mean you have an idea of your own as where you can find a clue? As a matter of fact, I've been thinking about that portrait. That I thought it was just a portrait, or more there in Murasaki was altered. That was altered. Remember how Gracia said he smells wet paint from it during the last recording? Well, he did say that because he has this like a very good sense of smell. That struck me as the most unusual thing to say, even for an improvised line. Wet paint. That's it! It was Hokusai! Precisely. Miss Murasaki must have asked Miss Hokusai to paint that portrait for us as a prop. True. An artist as good as Hokusai would probably be able to throw a painting like that together faster than most people could open an image editor. But I guess there wasn't enough time for the painting to dry before they had to start filming. Wait, you're not suggesting we send Hokusai over there to be this portrait's painter, are you? No, I may want to talk to her, though of course she may not be in a more conversant state than Miss Murasaki, given the hour she keeps. I got a bad feeling about this. Alright, let's go to that filthy room she calls a atelier. Man, Toho-sama, never thought I would get so much praise for just painting a picture of a pretty lady and a handsome guy. This crowded place is pretty nice. There's a lot of more oil painting than I realized. Maybe I'll try painting another one like that while I'm at it. Ah, crap, I can't. Just standing in front of the camera is making me dizzy. Maybe I've been working myself a little too hard lately. Say, that medicine Murasaki left here. I think she said it relieves your exhaustion in a jiffy. Oh god, please don't drink it, Hokusai. Sounds like just what the doctor ordered. Oh god, no, don't drink it. Too late. Ha ha ha! We're too late! Huh? What are you two doing here? Don't tell me you guys want a portrait making out of the parent and child too? The only sort of picture I've ever asked you to paint would be a cover illustration of one of my children's stories. Alright, we don't have time for this crap right now. Hurry up, Holmes! As I assure you, I have every intention of doing so. If you don't mind, Miss Hokusai, there's something I wish to ask you about the portrait you painted, E3. Oh, that? Came up looking awful good, didn't it? Getting that feast of my eyes on a handsome guy and beautiful lady like that one of the very best parts of my work. Oh yes, your skill has never in question. It is clear for all to see that your work is immensely professional. However, I was curious if Murasaki made any unusual requests of you when she commissioned the piece. For example, were there any parts she asked you to redo? Something she asked me to redo? Now that you mentioned it, she did say that my first job made look too much like a couple. So I had to fix that expert up a little. Oh man, I'm getting real sleepy all of a sudden. And there she goes. Hey, don't fall asleep yet! We're still talking to you! Damn it! Guess that's all we're getting out of her. Well, there's nothing we can do about it now. Besides, we did learn a few interesting tidbits. You're really enjoying this, aren't you, Holmes? Isn't that how it seems to you? I suppose this particular case does make of a nice change of pace. After all, once I become involved in the case, it's only a matter of time until it's solved. However indestructible it may appear at the first brush. So the fact that you're working on a case that isn't even really a case at this point only makes it that much more interesting for you, huh? I guess even detectives have their specialities, but whatever. Let's head back to the commanding room, Holmes. I'm worried about how things are going on the set. There is no way Rennie Sleeth will be able to handle everything on her own. Not with a cast of actors whose heads are so far off their ass they haven't even seen daylight in years.